All right, guys, welcome back. We're at the end of August. I went through the trade deadline by myself just because we didn't really make any moves. And I couldn't find anybody. Did make one pickup, which was picking up Eric Hosmer. Um, he's been an okay pickup since he got here. He's been a 245 hitter. Boy, he's been about just as bad as Votto has been, honestly. He's been a better average, though, so we'll take it. Honestly, having a little bit better bat in the lineup, and got him by an eighth, so it isn't like it's that big of a deal. Edwin Arroyo just hit a talent change randomness, which that's good to see him go up a little bit and get just a little bit better, which is good to see. Dylan Carlson's had a great year this year. I think it's a good idea for us to extend him out. 3.5 WAR season is what we wanted from out of him. Trout is still on pace for a great year, 8.4 WAR. He's on pace for 59 home runs and 151 RBIs. I'm just glad that this isn't like the old Angels where it's Trout and nobody else. Otani's having a pretty solid year on the mound, but at the plate he's having even a better year. Acuna's having a really great year. I had him batting first. I think we drop Acuna down into the three hole next year. Have Otani bat fifth and look for a true leadoff hitter with David Fletcher batting second. I like having that ability not to strike out often and have a 325 OBP, which is good to see out of Mr. Fletcher there. We've also seen Dylan Dingler add the power to his arsenal at 16 home runs and 58 RBIs with 211 average, almost a 300 OBP, which will take 91 OPS with a 2 WAR. His defense is saves runs, as they used to say about Andrew Jones. Bobby Cox used to say that about Andrew Jones when he was slumping. They asked him one time if he would take him out of the lineup, and he said no. There's runs in his glove. So Dylan is proving that there are truly runs in his glove. Arroyo's WAR is really worrying me at shortstop. We might look to move him to second base next year. Um, I don't know what to do about Fletcher. I really like what Fletcher's done. Maybe we'll trade Arroyo. I don't know. We'll have to see how he ends the season. Him having a zero WAR is not a good sign for a shortstop that is a defensive position there. So I don't like that. Our defensive efficiency is pretty good, honestly. Think if we had a really good shortstop, we'd probably be number one. We were number one in everything. Our batting average has kind of cooled off towards the end of the year. Our base percentage is still second. Obviously, we're leading in every other statistical category except for stolen bases. So all around, we've had a really good year. 80 and 54 for the Los Angeles Angels. The Houston Astros are having a good year, and they're fighting for a wild spot. They were having a lot better year. They were right with us. I think we were Um, they were neck and neck with us, firmly ahead of Seattle, and they're kind of falling back. Um, we've been playing not the best of baseball, but we have been playing pretty decently. I'm trying to remember where the info is. Here it is, right here. Our record in August was 14 and 13. So, like I said, we're not playing amazing baseball right now. Our best baseball was obviously in April, and it's kind of carried us the whole way through. We haven't had another losing month. Under 500 month, except for in May. But I would like to see us close September strong. Call up wise for September call ups, we have called up Matt McLean um, to play backup in the infield, get him a little experience in the major leagues. And then we called up relief pitcher Alex Lang. We called up Alex Lang from AAA, who his major league stats he's been in wasn't that great. His AAA numbers was a 172 and 31 innings pitched, 14 base on balls to 49 strikeouts. So I'm interested to see what he can do in his second stint up here. We may even leave him in the bullpen depending on how we close out this last month. I will be back at the end of August or at the end of September to give you guys another update. And then we were talking about the playoff series. And I might even do the first playoff series this episode because I'm gonna need some extra time in this episode, or I might just end the episode short. So, all right, guys, we'll be back in September to go over um where we're sitting at in September. I don't know if we have a game in October. We might just have one. It's kind of weird sometimes how the schedule falls. So we'll be back and we will cover what happened in September as well. All right, guys, we're back. As you can see, it got pretty close in the division race. We won by 2 games. We won our division by 2 games. You can see Astros tightened it up. I thought they were going to finish in the 80 wins the way they were going. Then they just rolled off about 10 games and got me a little nervous at the end of the season. I'm not going to lie. We got Oakland for our last game of the season. And as you can tell, we dropped 3 to Texas. We're on a 5 game losing streak going into that Oakland series. And we just stomped them. So thanks for Oakland, I guess. Thank you for the schedule giving us Oakland at the end of the season. It's a good way to get our guys ready for this for the playoff push. See, Brandon Williamson went down to a on a day to day um on the team injuries, so it's not that big of a deal. I want to look at stats of everyone. Check the minors too while you guys are here. Otani with a 4.10 ERA, not amazing, not what we would want. Not top of the line rotational stuff from him, but great from the batting side of it. You combine his WAR. What is that? A 7 WAR at second on the team. So a second on the team in WAR for Otani. Sandoval was pretty solid this year. You see the 2.9 WAR. Obviously, the ERA plus is really good. I like the K to walk ratio. I wish it was just a little bit lower. Um, we see his home run balls were about the same as 2 years ago, and his ERA came about to the same. 33 games started for us. He did what we need him to do. He was just a consistent guy all year. Uh, Chris Matt again, he's consistent all year for us. Great to have. We shored him up on a team-friendly contract, 6 years team options at the last 2 years. Don't pay him over 6 at all in any of the time. It's really a 4 year, $15 million deal with 2 team options if we decide to keep him. So I think that was a good pickup there. Clark Schmidt, I looked to extend him, and he was a little more expensive than what I wanted to pay for him. With a short supply, he only started 13 games, but he was pretty solid during those games. I think if he kept pitching, he probably would have ended up with an ERA just north of Chris Matt or of Chris Matt, sorry, and just under Sandoval, maybe a little higher. Rodriguez, he was good. He has a player opt out. I'm hoping he takes it. If not, the Tigers are retaining most of his salary. I'm really hoping he takes the opt out and we get him for cheaper in free agency because that would be great for us. Vardo comes off the books too, so we should have about 30 million to spend if Rodriguez uh, taps out. We have Adrian, who was a good closer for us once we put him into that role, 26 saves. He would have had more, but we didn't have him as a closer all year. Ryan Abreu was good. Alex Lang probably needs to go to the middle relief. Um, man, Perez has been lights out. So Perez is going to go into the setup. Well, actually, you know what? I want Clay Holmes in the setup. He's been more lights out than Perez has. Perez has been really good for us in the middle of the in middle relief though, which is really good. Uh, Garrett was really good when he came off the injury, so that's good to see. We'll have him next year. Jamie, the same thing. Perez will have next year. Lang, we need him to tighten it up a little bit. Zach Pop, he did what we needed to out of long relief for us. Brandon Williamson was really good out of long relief. It was good to see. He has a good fastball and good slider, and he has decent stuff. So 398 on the 61 innings pitch we will take. And then Mr. Burnett, face mostly lefties. Next year we might try to have him face everyone. Um, 13K per nine is really good. Walks per nine is almost at a six, so don't like to see that. But a good ERA all the way around. Lineups: Acuna finishes third in WAR on the team, but he will be high in WAR everywhere else. Brett Phillips finishes with a .2 WAR, mainly because of his defensive ability. Put up some home runs and some RBIs. Not bad. We might bring him back. Trout was amazing. Trout is probably going to win the MVP award, and yeah, that's what about you. That's what you expect from. I think we had the best outfield in all of baseball this year. There's no doubt about it in my mind. We see Carlson come in at almost a 5 WAR. Acuna's at a 6.5. Trout we saw was at 8 almost. So that's a 13. That's almost an 18 WAR out of the outfield, which is amazing. Aurora turned it around the second half. You see the talent change randomness. I'm hoping that he'll be even better next year. Get a little more production out of him next year if he can take another step forward in his development. He's only 20 years old. There's a lot to work with there. O'Neill Cruz was really good this year for us. He played a good third base. Wasn't amazing, but wasn't bad. 244 average, 33 home runs, 93 RBIs. We'll take that from him any day or any year, any day of the week in the sim or in real life. So that's good to see. We see David Fletcher come in. He got bats 279 for us with a 1.8 WAR. We'd like it a little higher than that, but he batted what we needed him to. He did everything we asked of him to do at the top of the lineup to set up for Acuna, Otani, Trout, and Cruz and Carlson to drive people in. Aurora came in, like I said, and he was good. Hosmer picked him up. He ended up with a .5 WAR from us. He ended up batting 305 with us with 3 home runs, 20 RBIs in 46 games. Might bring him back depending on his cost. If he costs too much, I'll let him go and try to pick him up and pick up a first baseman for agency on the cheap. We see Dylan come in with a 2.5. Hopefully, we'll get his contact to come up a little bit, but even if not, it's a really good defensive catcher. Joey Votto will be leaving this year. It was great to have him as a leader ability and everything, but that WAR is treacherous and his contract is crap. I'm not going to accept a $20 million team option for him. Chad Wallach, negative .2 WAR. We might bring him in as a backup catcher next year. I don't know. I kind of want to find a better backup catcher. And then we know what Otani did from the plate: 40 home runs, 107 RBIs. Struck out a good bit. Had a 260 average, so a 367 OBP, which is great. Uh, with a 4.1 WAR and a OPS of 138. So our big three was everything we needed. Carlson is becoming a really solid player. Aurora, Edwin, we're hoping becomes a solid player next year, and things like that. So we will go. Let's check. Actually, no. All right, guys. We are going to go and check the some of the minor league rosters and just see how some of the guys did. We see the Salt Lake Bees finished first. Parrish had a good year. That's good to see. This is a potential second baseman for us next year if Fletcher leaves, which I don't know if he will, but are a good trade piece. Darren Ruff, I don't know. We probably will not see him next year. He's a free agent. I think we're going to let him walk. Jake Lamb, same thing. Andrew Vasquez, probably the same thing. DeSantos was really good for them as he played very limited games, but he batted a 340 for him with 5 home runs and 15 RBIs. Rivero was okay. Let's see. Is there any prospects that I really want to? Mm, yeah, it wasn't that great. As we can see, fourth, fifth, fourth, sixth, fourth. We're gonna address some more talent in the off season with these guys. We were just trying to get. We improved our system from what it was, obviously. We'll just need to get some leaders and things like that into the minor league organization and some cheap major league guys who can't make the majors but will be great AAA players and AA players for us. So we're looking forward to that. I am going to sim to the playoffs and we will run maybe one or two playoff series unless we get knocked out of it. So I will be right back with the first playoff series. All right, guys, we are back. We drew the Tampa Bay Rays, as you can tell. Interested to see what Tampa looks like this year. Rosarena, who looks like he was hurt, judging off of the games played. Bad year for Rosarena. I probably wish they would have got a little more out of him. Yandy Diaz had a pretty solid year for them. Wander Franco, as we know, is the best player on that team, in my opinion. Brandon had a good year for them. That's good for them. Curtis Mead had a fantastic year for them. Well, fantastic year batting for them. Probably should play first base. How tall are you? It doesn't tell me how tall he is. We might trade for that sucker. That'd be a pretty good first baseman for me, honestly. I don't need a power hitting first base, so I need somebody to get on base and drive in runs too, without having to hit a home run every time. Jared Kalenic, we see on the team. Sinzel, Mejia, Wood is starting for them, so they're coming off a playoff series, so that's why he's starting for them. I think we should take game one. Let's set our playoff roster. Here's our playoff roster. Who did we leave off is the question. Jake Lamb, and I don't know who else we left off. Taking a look at the pitching staff. Ooh, I don't know who to take out of this thing. I think we take Patrick Sandoval out. Bump Clark Schmidt, we're going to put him at 2. I know that's putting a lot of faith in a guy that we just called up, but that's what we're going to have to do. 4-man rotation. We will ask our bench coach to set the bullpen. I like doing that. Usually the bench coach sets a pretty good pin, in all honesty. So we'll rock with that. And what happens game one? We win 3-2. So Alex Wood pitched a lot better than I thought he was going to for Tampa. Let's see. Wood pitched 7 innings of one earned run ball. Wow, he pitched a lot better than I thought he was going to pitch. It's very concerning. Peter Fairbanks gave up 2 runs, thankfully. Otani gave up 2 runs, so we were losing. And then Alex Lane came in, pitched two innings, shut him down, gave up 1 hit. Oh, man, that's really good to see from Alex Lane. If we can get that, we can win. We can definitely go pretty far if we can get that out of Lane. Looks like the hero was Mike Trout. That's not too surprising. And Acuna with 1 RBI as well. Were they home runs? Trout's was. Acuna's might have just been a single that drove in a run. All right, 3-2 game. Good to see there. Go to the next one. 1-0 game. Wow. Okay, two good pitching. We're having a pitcher's duel in the start of this series, obviously. Glasnow 7.2 innings, gave 1 earned run. We see Smith goes 5 and a third, strikes out 6, gives up 3 hits, walks 2, and then Jimmy Holt comes in, pitches an inning and 2/3, gives up 2 hits, strikes out 1. We see Sandoval come in, he gets the hold, and then Adrian gets save number 2 in 2 games. Take a 1-0 lead here. Let's go ahead and win this series at Tampa. That would be preferable. Let's win in 3 games, get this over with, and go to the next one. There it is, 2-1. Great pitching performance. So we see that our starters and our bullpen hold it together. Uh, Chris Mack goes six innings, gives up 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, through 89 pitches. Burnett comes in, gets the hold with a third of an inning pitch, gave up 1 hit, but ended up striking out. The other Abreu comes in for an inning and 2/3, gets the strikeout and gets out the inning, throws 20 pitches for an inning and 2/3. And Adrian gets his third save. As you guys can see, a 45 stamina closer is pretty nice to have because he has 3 saves and he's only 72% tired. So We will sim to the next one. Honestly, we might run the whole playoff series this year. We see the international showcase. We'll go. Um, we have Minnesota. This is who I thought we were going to bump into at some point. Minnesota was the other top team in the AL. They probably finished with a better record than us too. I would think they were trending better. Yeah, so they're better by 2 games. What was so they have a pretty well put together team. Otani versus Joe Ryan in the first game. Smith versus Paddock. Rodriguez versus Ober. Interesting. Chris Matt Lopez, Otani, Ryan. We started all over again. All right, game one at Minnesota. Let's see who takes it. We do 8-7 game. Our pitching kind of let us down a little bit, but we ended up getting the win anyway. Otani went 5 innings, gave up 300 runs. Whew. Perez got knocked around, and then after Perez gave up 7 runs, Lane comes in, pitches an inning and a third, doesn't give up anything. Burnett comes in, pitches 2/3 of an inning, doesn't give up anything, and Adrian comes in and gets the save and closes us out again for save number 4 of his playoff series. And as you can see, he's 91% rested, and he has been really good for us out of the pen. So you see, our pen is doing work outside of Perez getting lit up. I didn't check what we did. Acuna with an RBI, Otani with 2 RBIs, Trout with no RBIs, Cruz with 2, Arroyo with 3. So just a team effort. And Trout didn't even do anything today, and we won. So that's a good sign. If we can get that out of our team the rest of the way, we have a chance to win it all. We lose 0-5 against Minnesota. Who pitched for them? This is Paddock. Went 7 innings, didn't give up a single run. So we got shut out. We only had 2 hits on the day, one from Otani, one from Arroyo. So that's not. You don't want to see that. You don't want the bats to go cold. If our bats cold, we're in trouble. They were kind of cold earlier, so let's hope that we can pick it back up in this half. Let's have a hero. There we go. 6-1 victory. It's a 2-1 series now. Acuna with 2 RBIs. Trout with an RBI. Cruz with an RBI. Dingler with an RBI. Chris Matt, wow, 9 inning pitch, complete shutout, or not complete shutout. He gave up a run. Sorry about that. 88 pitches. Dude threw 9 innings and 88 pitches. That is Greg Maddux esque. Oh, we got players listed here. We just won a 9-6 game. Y'all got anything good? For 8 million, I seriously doubt it. Okay. All right, let's get some guys. Let's get scouting on some of these guys real quick. I'll do this on camera. Invite to training. Oh, why did it? It's whatever. We're gonna invite all the top guys to training. That's just how I usually do it for the first few months. So that's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna really look for any sleepers in the rough. In the rough, great English. So we're gonna just offer all of the guys at the top. We're not gonna look for any diamonds in the rough. Um, I usually like to scout the top guys for the first 2 months, get full information on them, and figure out how good they are, and then we'll go from there. Got one more invite. We'll go ahead and invite this first baseman. All right, so that's taken care of. Let's go run practice. Oh, it's gonna make me click all the way back through. Let's do it this way. Maybe this guy will turn out to be really good for really cheap, and we'll get him for cheap. All right, 9-6. Lost 4-8. I think. Are we up 3-2 in the series? Sorry, guys, I got hiccups. I ain't gonna lie, I forgot where I was going. All right, so it's a 3-2 series. The Philadelphia Phillies are rolling. They roll through San Diego. Man, if they catch fire like real life, they're gonna be up. Okay, Kyle Schwarber's on fire. That's good for them. May not be for us. Christian Pache batting 300 in a playoff series. Okay. Joey Votto, one hit, one at bat. Hey, there you go, Votto. Trout, 3 home runs, 4 RBIs. Acuna, no home runs, 3 RBIs. And Otani, 3 home runs, 4 RBIs. Well, let's hope our big guys can show up. I really don't want a game 7 with Philadelphia being done in 5. We really need to go ahead and take them out now. There it is. Finals. We're in the playoff. We're in the World Series. Chance to win year 1 with the Los Angeles Angels. As you can see, we're gonna go ahead and sim. You know, we're just gonna run through this too. We're gonna run through the we're gonna run through. All right, guys. I've decided that I'm gonna show the playoff. The All right, guys. I've decided I'm gonna show the World Series too. We're gonna get through year 1 and start the off season next episode and kind of prepare for what we're gonna do and the moves we're gonna make and show you guys some of the moves that we're gonna make. As you can see, like I said, we're in the World Series, so that's good to see year 1. Eric Hosmer was a pretty good improvement, it turned out to be. For us, so that's good to see. And we still have our leader in the background in Mr. Joey Votto. We're going to try to get Joey Votto a ring. Another one, actually. Well, we just lost the first series, win the second series. So 1-1 series tie. We see Otani with a ribby, Trout with a ribby, and Cruz with a ribby. So the middle of our lineup does work. Otani pitches 6 and 2/3 inning, gives up 1 earned run. Abreu comes in and get around a little bit, gives up an earned run. Jimmy comes in, gets the 1 1/3 with a strikeout. Sandoval comes in, pitches an inning, gives up a hit, and Adrian comes in and gets his 7th save of the playoffs with a .93 ERA to boot in the playoffs. So he's doing really good for us. Here we go. Here's game 3. We win 5-1. This is a great sign. That is a great sign. Clark Schmidt goes 5 innings, gives up 1 earned run, walked 5, and struck out 4. But hey, he only gave up 1 earned run, so he walked 5 and only struck out 4. Man, Clark struggled with the command. Evaldi gives up 4 earned runs. Let's see who did the damage for us. Acuna, 1 RBI, Otani, 2, and Arroyo, 2. We see home runs from Arroyo and Otani. Acuna, no home run so far in this series. I don't believe I have seen one, which is fine. 3-1. We have a chance to win the World Series year 1, as you guys can see. Um, if you make the right moves, you can turn a team that is usually mediocre into a really good team. Fletcher with an RBI, Cruz with an RBI, and Dingler with an RBI, and we have Arroyo with an RBI. Home runs come from Cruz. Arroyo's been pretty solid. This series has been struggling a little bit, but in the playoffs, he has 2 home runs and 6 RBIs for us. Acuna has 9 RBIs, really productive. Trout has 4 home runs and 7 RBIs, and then Otani has 6 home runs and 9 RBIs. Rodriguez pitched, went 6 innings, got 4 earned runs, which is decent. Is a quality start. It's not terrible. Abreu went an inning, didn't give up anything. Good to see. Burnett again tossed another inning, struck out 2, didn't give up anything. And Adrian picks up his 3rd save of the playoff of the playoffs. And Adrian is a beast, and we hope that we find more Adrians in the off season. We are the champions. We beat Philadelphia 9-3 year one. Three hits and five at bats for Fletcher. Big game for him. Acuna 1 for 4. Otani with three RBIs. Big contributions from him. Trout went 0 for 5 today and we still won. Cruz 2 for 5. Dylan Carlson went 2 for 5 as well with an RBI. Arroyo brings in three RBIs. Hosmer brings in two. Home run runners. Arroyo second inning off Zach Wheeler. Then we have Carlson in the fifth and Otani in the sixth inning. Chris Mack goes 5 innings, gives up 3 runs, which is a quality start again from him. Lane comes in, doesn't give up anything. Burnett pitches an inning and a third, doesn't give up anything. And then Clay Holmes comes in and pitches 3 innings, throws 39 pitches, strikes out one guy, gives up 3 hits, but closes the game out for us. We see player of the game is Edwin Arroyo, and Zach Wheeler got shellacked. Good all around for the Braves fan who just won a World Series with the Angels and watched Philadelphia get shellacked. Okay, perfect. All right, guys, we are going into the off season. I will see you next episode. Hopefully, I will. All right, guys, we just simmed to the end of the season. Great year one. We are going to try to repeat next year. I really want to make it to. I want to see if we can build the Angels into a dynasty and how fast we can keep this up for Trout and for Otani. I wasn't planning on doing the whole season this episode, but if you made it all the way to the end, you got a treat because I'm not gonna say that this was the World Series or anything like that. Um, we're just gonna let it ride, and we will get into the rest of our off season in the next episode. Thanks for everybody watching. Thanks for joining us for year one of the Los Angeles Angels retool in year one. Realize we have a lot of talent and go win it all with a acquisition at the trade deadline for Hosmer, which was pretty beneficial, honestly. It gave us a first baseman that wasn't a negative impact in WAR for us. He gave us another leader as well, and then we got to keep um, Mr. Votto for the leadership ability on the bench, which he provided, and we sent him off into the sunset as a 2023 MLB champion. And we will see Mr. Votto retire soon. And I personally think Joey Votto goes in the Hall of Fame. I'm interested to see how many votes he gets to go in. I could be wrong. Maybe he doesn't go in at all, but I believe that Joey Votto will go into the Hall of Fame. No problem. Just like how I believe that we have three Hall of Famers on this team, and Trout, Otani, and Ronald Acuna Jr. And I do believe that if Acuna stays healthy and Otani keeps doing what he's doing, that there's three Hall of Famers on this team. We know Trout's a Hall of Famer. Acuna is pacing to be one, and there's nobody like Otani since Babe Ruth, is what people are saying. I don't know. I never saw Babe Ruth play, but if Babe Ruth was this good, then Babe Ruth was a legend. All right, guys, that's the end of the episode. I just want to remind you of a few things. One, I want to thank you for watching. Two, I want to remind you that this is just a video game and this game is fun, but it's not the most important thing. So spend time with your families. Tell them how thankful you are for them. And I know this is just a random video on a random day, but it never hurts to tell your loved ones that you love them. Everybody have a good day and peace.